Wealthy Romans invested fortunes in facilities designed to produce killers. These gladiator schools operated as brutal businesses, transforming slaves and criminals into combat specialists through systematic training, strict discipline, and calculated investment in human death for entertainment and profit. The economics of death proved remarkably lucrative. A Lanista, the owner of a gladiator school, could purchase a slave for roughly 500 denarii and transform him into a trained fighter worth 15,000 denarii within 2 years. The investment required substantial capital. Training facilities demanded weapons, armor, medical staff, and experienced trainers. Food alone consumed significant resources, as gladiators received protein-rich diets to build muscle mass. The return, however, justified the expense. Renting out gladiators for games generated enormous profits, with top fighters commanding fees equivalent to a soldier's annual salary for a single appearance. Death represented financial loss, so Lanistas carefully managed risks, ensuring their investments survived to fight repeatedly. The Ludus Magnus stood as the empire's premier combat factory, a massive complex covering 2 acres in the shadow of the Colosseum. 4 stories of cells housed over 1,000 gladiators, while the central courtyard contained a full-scale arena for training. Underground passages connected directly to the Colosseum's high podium, allowing fighters to move unseen from training ground to deathmatch. The facility contained weapons rooms, medical quarters, and even a small cemetery. Trainees lived under constant surveillance, their every movement monitored by guards. The architecture itself reflected Rome's obsession with spectacle, transforming human preparation for death into an organized industrial-scale operation that fed the insatiable appetite of the games. Training began before dawn with grueling physical conditioning. Gladiators drilled with wooden swords and wicker shields, weapons deliberately heavier than their real counterparts to build strength and endurance. Each fighter specialized in a particular class: the Mumio with sword and large shield, the Retiarius with net and trident, the Thraex with curved blade. Instructors, often retired gladiators themselves, supervised every movement with ruthless precision. Mistakes brought immediate punishment. Fighters practiced specific techniques repeatedly until muscle memory took over. Combat drills simulated actual arena conditions, pairing different fighting styles against each other. Medical staff monitored injuries carefully, as damaged goods decreased value. The regimen transformed bodies into weapons through relentless repetition, brutal discipline, and calculated preparation for survival. The arena demanded diversity in death. The Mumio entered combat encased in protection, wearing a distinctive fish-crested helmet, carrying a large rectangular shield and short gladius sword. His opponent, the Thraex, fought with a small square shield and a wickedly curved Sika blade, designed to hook around defenses. The Secutor, built to hunt the Retiarius, wore a smooth, rounded helmet that prevented net entanglement. Most vulnerable yet most celebrated, the Retiarius fought nearly naked, armed only with a weighted net, trident, and dagger. Each class represented a calculated balance between protection and mobility, creating dynamic matchups that kept crowds roaring for more blood. Gladiators ate better than Roman soldiers. Archaeological evidence reveals a diet rich in barley, beans, and dried fruit, designed specifically to build body mass and protective fat layers. Bone analysis shows these fighters consumed more calories than average citizens, their meals calculated to maximize survival value. Medical care surpassed anything available to common people. Greek physicians, among the finest in the empire, treated injuries with advanced techniques including surgical procedures and specialized ointments. Living quarters, while Spartan, provided adequate shelter and sanitation. The investment logic remained brutally simple. A healthy gladiator generated profit, a dead one represented loss. Owners protected their assets with the same care a merchant gave valuable merchandise, ensuring their human inventory remained combat-ready for maximum return. The Lanista wielded absolute power over his human inventory. This figure combined the roles of businessman, trainer, and slaveholder, controlling when fighters ate, slept, trained, and died. His decisions determined which gladiators received premium equipment, which faced certain death against superior opponents, and which might eventually earn freedom. A Lanista's favor could elevate a slave to celebrity status, while his displeasure meant assignment to suicidal matchups. These men operated without sentiment, viewing their charges purely as investments requiring management. The most successful Lanistas understood combat psychology, physical conditioning, and crowd manipulation equally well. Their reputation determined the value of their stable, making them powerful brokers in Rome's death industry. The system that created killers eventually produced its own destruction. In 73 BC, a Thracian gladiator named Spartacus led 78 fighters in a desperate escape from a training school in Capua. Armed with kitchen knives and makeshift weapons, these trained combatants overwhelmed their guards and fled to Mount Vesuvius. What began as a simple breakout transformed into Rome's worst nightmare. Spartacus possessed not only combat skills but tactical brilliance, turning a band of escaped slaves into a disciplined army that swelled to over 70,000 followers. For 2 years, this force of former gladiators defeated multiple Roman legions, humiliating the Republic's military might. The rebellion exposed a terrifying truth. Rome had spent generations perfecting the art of creating warriors, never considering those weapons might turn against their creators. Freedom existed, but only as a distant dream earned through blood. A gladiator who survived long enough and fought with exceptional skill might receive the ludus, a wooden sword symbolizing release from combat obligation. The decision rested entirely with the editor, the official sponsoring the games, who granted freedom based on crowd approval, and the fighters demonstrated valor. Most gladiators never reached this moment, dying long before accumulating enough victories. Those who did receive the ludus faced a cruel irony. Many returned to the arena voluntarily, unable to survive in normal society after years of violence. Some became trainers, passing their lethal knowledge to the next generation. Others hired themselves out for exhibition matches, addicted to the roar of crowds. The wooden sword promised liberation, but delivered only the realization that the arena had transformed them into something that could never truly leave. The arena transformed exceptional killers into superstars. Successful gladiators achieved fame rivaling modern athletes, their names chanted by thousands, their images sold on pottery and oil lamps throughout the empire. Graffiti in Pompeii celebrated fighters as heartthrobs, with one inscription declaring a gladiator as the sigh of the girls. Wealthy Roman women, despite social prohibitions, pursued these men with scandalous intensity. Fighters accumulated substantial wealth through prize money and private appearances, some purchasing their own freedom and living in luxury. The contradiction remained stark. Society simultaneously despised gladiators as infamia, the lowest social class, while worshipping them as icons of masculine power and sexual desirability, creating celebrities from condemned men. The empire that perfected death as entertainment eventually lost its appetite for blood. Christianity's rise fundamentally challenged the moral foundation of gladiatorial combat, with early church leaders condemning the games as murder disguised as sport. Emperor Constantine issued the first prohibition in 325 AD, though enforcement remained inconsistent. The economic reality shifted as Rome's declining wealth made maintaining expensive gladiator schools increasingly impractical. Barbarian invasions disrupted the supply of war captives who traditionally filled training facilities. By 400 AD, the infrastructure of death had crumbled. The final recorded gladiatorial contest occurred in 404 AD, when a monk named Telemachus jumped into the arena to stop the fighting and was killed by the outraged crowd. His martyrdom sparked the definitive end, with Emperor Honorius abolishing the games permanently, closing the schools that had fed Rome's bloodlust for over 6 centuries. The gladiator schools vanished, but their legacy endures as testament to humanity's capacity for organized brutality. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and share this story. History's darkest chapters demand remembering.